Theater, the place where we go to watch our favorite movies, concerts, and live performances. But I don't think you know where these performances originated from. So, I'm here to tell you how they originated, where they originated, and who were the people who wrote the earliest performances. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started. Ancient Greek dramas developed in the city-state of Athens. This was in ancient Greece during the late 6th century BCE. Tragedy started because of the religious chants honoring Dionysus and focused on the gods and Greece's mythical past. There were a couple of different early Greek themes for plays. Some of the themes discuss the good and evil that exists in the world, and also the contradictory forces of human nature and the outside world. These themes are usually what most of the plays back then were based on. Tragedies developed out of religious rituals Greeks performed. Comedies were developed in a similar way. They too were developed out of rituals similar to the ones tragedies were developed out of. Theater's word roots come from an ancient Greek verb that means to see. However, visual performances were not the only form of Greek entertainment. There were other types of performances too. Greek audiences enjoyed play works back in the 5th century. The Greek people often enjoyed the works of 4 master playwrights. 3 of these playwrights were Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides, and they created Greek tragedies. 3 playwrights had a common inspiration. They were all inspired by different Greek myths and legends. With the new inspirations they gained, they began to develop more dramas. Aeschylus had a trilogy called Orestia. This trilogy looks at the common tragic themes of vengeance and justice. He brought tragedy to a serious level of literature. His military times heavily influenced one of his earliest tragedies, The Persians. The Persians was a tragedy that used historical facts rather than mythos for its plot. This is similar to how we have many performances not based on fictional plots, but real-life events. Sophocles was a tragedian playwright who had written many plays. However, only 7 of his plays survived into the modern era. Greek tragedies show how certain aspects of Greek life are explained by the dramas. This is shown in Sophocles' play Oedipus the King, and how a noble man who commits evil acts because of pride falls from a high station, exacting punishment on himself. Euripides questioned traditional values about Greeks and the ultimate power of the gods. In his play Medea, Euripides explores choices that people make under certain difficult situations. Aristophanes was the greatest Greek playwright for comedies in the early period known as Old Comedy. He used satire in his plays, like The Birds of Lysistrata, to highlight the bad things about Athenian figures and current Greek events. Later though, the Greek comedies relied less on satire and mythos, and more on the human relations of the Greek people. From the Dark Ages arose a poet named Homer. Homer created epic poetry, or epics. Epics are long poems about heroes and their struggles to remain human in the face of war or other hardships. Homer has recited many epics. One of the epics he has recited is known as the Iliad. Another one of the epics he has recited is known as the Odyssey. The Odyssey was one of the epics told by Homer and was spoken as a sequel to the Iliad. The Odyssey is about Odysseus, our main hero, facing many hardships, like being stuck on the island of Ogygia and facing conflict with the god of sea, Poseidon. Greek dramas have started generations of new types of art, and the Greek playwrights have inspired artists in various media, psychologists, and other people. Greek drama and the themes that it was based on have continued to be relevant to this day. Many people today are inspired by plays and dramas from early Greek times, with people still writing scripts based on old Greek mythology. Playwrights changed how they wrote comedy when Sparta overtook Athens. Instead of comedies being based on real-life events and political drama, they were more family-friendly comedies. These comedies featured roles like the grumpy father, the dissolute son, the nagging wife, and the nosy neighbor. These are all roles that become stock in the new comedies that the playwrights wrote. Greeks started making prequels and sequels for the different Homeric tales. This was done to fill in parts of the story and add iterations. Also, less new tragedies were being created, and instead, Greeks were creating old tragedies and making them new again, rebooting them and reiterating them. In ancient Greece, the Greeks had competitions for different orally spoken performances. This is similar today to how we have competitions and award ceremonies for different performances, like movies, which are awarded at the Oscars, and music, which are awarded at the Grammys. All in all, I hope you have learned more about the origins of Greek drama and how they have evolved and affected today's time. Thank you for watching.